Hello, hello. It looks like we are live. Doug Cunnington here, and this is one of the live stream Q&As that we're doing. So give me a shout in the chat. Let me know if you could hear me. I see green bars moving on my screen, and that tells me that maybe it's working. You never actually know. You never know if it's working. So we are in the new office today, and we got plants back there. The sun is kind of shining in, even though we got some snow. We got a couple inches of snow in the Denver area in the last 24 hours. It was actually pretty nasty. Yesterday afternoon, I was out doing some things. By the way, everyone can just say hello in the chat. If you have questions, you could ask there. It'll just be kind of loose today. I don't have any specific topic, but a lot of people ask about content. I see who is Joe ask a question already. Joe, did you send me an email like a few minutes ago? And Khalid, what's going on? Yeah, so I was out yesterday doing some things. I was getting the emissions done for my truck because I got to transfer my title over and all that stuff, get a new license plate with the move, right? So if people don't know, I moved from Montana to Colorado in the last few weeks here, and you got to change the title. You got to transfer the title over and get a new license plate. So to do that, I had to get emissions. So I went yesterday. One of the luxuries of working from home, and you get to go out and run errands in the middle of the day. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and go out. I knew it was supposed to snow, but it was only raining and it was supposed to be like a couple hours before the snow actually like kicked in. There was like a blizzard watch or blizzard warning or something like that. High winds, high winds. It's hard to see when that happens. Anyway, so I left. The emissions place is only like 10 minutes away. So I'm driving. It's maybe raining a little bit. By the time I get to the emissions place, it's like blizzard conditions. It's blowing. The snow's going sideways. You really can't see that well. And the other thing that happens, if you don't know, when the wind kicks up and it's snowing, these blizzard conditions, the snow will stick to signs. So like stop signs, street signs, any kind of horizontal or not horizontal, vertical surface, the horizontal snow can stick to it just the way it's coming down. Plus, it was about like 75 or so 2 days ago, chilled down quite a bit. And this morning, it's icy outside. So anyway, we got some other people coming in. We got Ken. We got Sub, we'll just call you that. Derek, what's going on? Thanks about the move, and Samu, and we'll go ahead and get started with the questions here. I see a couple did come in. So anyway, it's a little chilly here today, but it's going to warm right up. It warms up here pretty quick. All right. So Joe says, does the KGR competition on keywords everywhere represent competition on paid keywords or SEO keywords? This has me confused on the whole KGR thing. Okay, that is a good question. And this goes back. Yeah, the answer is yes. It's the competition on the paid keywords. And I've made that same mistake when I first got started. It is unclear, right? But it depends on the tool that you're using. But yeah, if you see competition on some keyword research tools, depending on the context, it's actually what you said, right? It's for advertisers, not for people looking for keywords. In fact, it's the inverse. All right. Now, Joe, the other thing, I understand what you're trying to ask. Sorry, I understand what you're trying to ask there, but your question is phrased wrong and the terms are wrong. But I know what you're trying to ask, so I can pick apart your question, but that's not really the point here. But your vocabulary is off in a few areas. So if you ask someone else, they would not know what you're talking about probably, or answer a different question than what you're actually trying to ask. Okay, next, Sub says, how many percent tragat, maybe you mean target, how many percent target keywords and LSI keywords should we use on a 3K article, 3,000 word article? Okay. Um, a quick thing, I didn't do the announcements today, but I encourage everyone to go to nichesiteproject.com/FAQ to read frequently asked questions along with their answers. This is one of them. So I don't have a target percentage that I go for, and I don't specifically have rules for LSI keywords. So that's my answer. Um, Generally, less is more. I'll tell you that. Less is more. If you start researching this and you look at what people write about target keyword percentage, most people will tell you that you need to find, like, Google the keyword, research the competition, and then see the keyword densities on those ranking pages. And that will give you a good average to target. Right. So that's what I guess like the thorough answer is that there's no set number that's universal. Even if you know, yeah. So you could put in other qualifiers, but you need to do research. All right. What's up? Online education. Jody says, have I bought an old website to skip the sandbox? Blah, blah, blah. You're in talks to buy a 24-year-old domain. I haven't. Uh, I haven't exactly, but I've been part of some, situations like that. You can, shorten the sandbox if it's a good site. Sometimes, so yeah, if you're buying an expired domain, it could be iffy. But if you're buying an existing site, that's good. Um, Samu says, "What when stuck to choose niche?" Okay, so how do you choose a niche? Um, I would recommend heading over to Amazon and just looking at the product categories just to get an idea of the products that are out there. Welcome people that are on for the first time. It's I didn't go through the whole description, but I encourage you to check out the description. There are many helpful links in there. There are links to playlists. Actually, the one thing I'll plug is my podcast, Doug.show. So if you just go to Doug.show, that is the URL, Doug.show. And then if you search for it on any of the popular directories, you'll be able to find it. All right. You'll be able to find it. You can search for Doug Cunnington. That'll usually pop it up. You'll see my face, my bald head there. And then you can check out a couple of the shows. And we talk about a lot of the same stuff. A lot of times there's interviews, many, many success stories. And those seem to be the most popular. All right. And you can keep the questions coming. It looks like a fairly, quiet group today. Well, it looks like we got a small crew, which is fine. Devendra says, you just wanted to know if I recommend AdWords for promoting a niche site. No, I don't. Ken says it's your first chance to check out a live chat. You're considering using the KGR method to promote a freelance gig. My thoughts. Sure, that seems interesting. Yeah, if you could find keywords that fit the KGR, then you should be able to make it work. Khalid has a weird question. Will Amazon ever shut down its affiliate program because they already make big money? I wonder why they need affiliates. If they ever shut down, what will the alternatives be? So number one, I have no idea. If I could predict the future, I can assure you I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you all now. Wouldn't be doing anything like this. So the other thing, so I have no idea. I don't know if they're going to shut it down. I would suspect not. You say they already make big money. That's true. That's true. So you wonder why they need affiliates. From a business perspective, it's widening their funnel. So even if they have to pay a percentage, obviously Amazon deals with the volume here. And one other thing to note is, the affiliate program was in place for many years, and then just 2 years ago, Amazon adjusted the um, commission rates, right? Which they totally have, you know, the ability to do. They have the authority to do that. So they adjusted the rates. So you could sort of see like they were paying like pretty good commission rates for a while. And then once they had like a big enough market share, now they can scale it back. As far as alternatives, there will always be alternatives. If you have traffic on your site, you can find something to do with that. But there are a bunch of others. There's eBay, Walmart, probably dozens of others, but there are plenty of other affiliate programs out there. And if you have traffic, then you should be in good shape. You could do something with it further. And this is something I mention a lot of times. We get down into the deep weeds for like really specific questions that actually the answers don't matter. The questions are kind of misguided. But the point is, if you create an affiliate site, if you get involved in internet marketing or affiliate marketing, even if a lot of stuff changes, like you'll develop skills that you'll be able to use elsewhere. So maybe you do this stuff, but you actually learn how to do copywriting pretty effectively and build websites. Well, then you have a couple skills that you didn't have before. So even if the business model changes, which it definitely will, right? Like what, 25 years ago, no one could have been doing what we're doing exactly, but I'm sure there was some other thing that was similar from back then. Maybe it was like selling Tupperware or something like that. I think my mom did that some. All right, Jill, what's going on? Good to have you on. Thanks to all the Five Figure Niche Site students who are on here. That's always nice. Yeah, the move is good to go overall. All right, we have Mix Master here who seems to be really enthusiastic. Perhaps it's after 5 p.m. there, and Mac, the Mix Master has had a couple drinks already. I have a niche site. It's 139 days. It's like a child. It's like a child. What is that? It's about 18 weeks or so. What is that? No, that's not right. Seven weeks, 200 weeks. I don't know. All right. So you have a site and it's at time rank 44 keyword, but still now number one keyword rank, lost 43 keywords ranking. What can I do? I did not start any off-page SEO. All right, I have to say that I don't fully understand what you're asking. So I don't know. But I would say, well, you're already starting the process of troubleshooting on your own. It sounds like you know that you should maybe do some off-page SEO. It's also worthwhile to look at the on-page SEO, but I realize that's not helpful. I just told you to look in two places. I don't really understand your question. So maybe try and rephrase. We got JVlog saying toque, which I think is my hat. All right. I don't, that's not a term we use around here. So I'm not sure. What's the origin? Folks, educate me. What's every now and then someone will say something I don't understand, and then I realize sometimes it's when I have the hat on. So I assume all those things are about the hats. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. So Mixmaster says, "Boss, please recommend best content writer. Your budget is 1,000 words for $10 to $25. I suggest you go over to Upwork and you should be able to find someone in that price range." Sheik says, "Your site has 200 visitors a day. Great. The Average Amazon clicks are only 7 per day. Is this expected or poor? Let's see here. So, 200 visitors. I would say that's um, on the poor side, I think. That's your average clicks. So those aren't even sales. So that means you're probably only making a sale like one sale every, say, 10 to 14 days, I bet. Oh, the conversion rate is 2%. Are you performing okay or poor? I would say poor, but the thing I don't know is the kind of traffic that you get on your site. So you could be making some sort of content formatting error, or you could just have the wrong traffic. So if you had a ton of traffic on your site, but no one wanted to buy anything, then you have a pretty good um, you know, conversion rate there. But my assumption is there's some issue. So I don't think that's very good. I think there's a problem there. All right, JVlog says keeping links fresh across multiple sites. Is it better to funnel them into one resource page and then update that one resource page, or go through your sites on a regular basis? Um, I'm not sure I understand the resource page thing across multiple sites, but even without understanding that, because that doesn't sound right to me, I would say go through your sites on a regular basis, say quarterly, to make things current, ensure that they are current. All right. Sub says you have a KGR keyword, but Amazon is ranking, but not in all in titles. Can someone rank on this keyword? Yes, someone can. Mixmaster is saying you can take an expired domain and local SEO site. What is better? I'm not 100% sure I'm following all of what you know what? The cool thing, I'm not sure. All right, Mixmaster, you're warned. I'll just say that. All right, moving on. Um, Jill says on another live chat, I recommended OK Relax. If I assign them a task on your WordPress site, do you create a new user? Okay, so I'm still testing out OK Relax. You can do it however you want. I haven't assigned anyone from OK Relax to my WordPress site, but Jill, like in many cases, if you're, and Jill, by the way, is one of the students in Five Figure Niche Site. So just want to point that out, which is why I'm giving a thorough answer here. So you're the boss when you hire someone. So if you want them to do work on WordPress, then yeah, you can set it up however you want. I would recommend that you probably only give them, I don't remember exactly, I think it's a contributor account, so that they don't have access to things that they shouldn't have access to. So check the WordPress account settings, but I believe that it is contributor, and then they can hop on. They don't have access to your admin stuff, but they can edit content or whatever formatting. Yeah, so that's your second question. Will you create a new user? Yes. Assign them a role of author. That sounds right. It's either author or contributor. But if you go to WordPress and the documentation, they tell you each one of the things, so you could just see which one you want them to have. So okay, and JVlog says toque is the type of hat. Okay, cool. All right. TBE says writers are easy to find. The good ones will demand a fair price. All right. That is very true. All right. Drew says, first time here. Welcome. You love my content. Awesome. You saw the Jaron interview and you were wondering what you thought of his method of primarily putting links in informational articles. Let's see, mainly his of primarily putting links in informational articles. So I don't remember exactly that was his like primary technique. Um, so I don't remember. It's been a little while, but as far as putting I'm assuming affiliate links and informational articles. I think that's fine if you help them solve a problem. So Joe says, any sage advice for getting approved for an Amazon? Um, I guess that is the product advertising API. So I would wait um, until you get plenty of traffic on your site, so that you're consistently making sales, at least one per 30 days, which is not too much. Um, you can just apply and you should be fine, right? So once you're in the program, you're making consistent sales, then they'll review your site and you'll get approved for the API. I recently was helping a student with that sort of thing, and they were able to make 3 sales fairly quickly. They got approved for the API access, but they weren't making consistent sales. So I don't know where they got their purchases from or their orders or whatever. But when it comes down to it, like they weren't able to make 1 sale per 30 days, so they lost their access. So just make sure you're getting enough traffic consistently and you should be okay. I think if you're getting, I would say, 10 to 15 visitors per day, you should be able to make a few sales per month. You should be okay at that point. All right, Shady says, can I make an Amazon affiliate site which includes silos or categories or supportive articles? Yes, you can do that. TBE, question about content managers. Do they insert affiliate links or do you do that yourself? Yes, they would insert affiliate links. Yes. Sub says, can I derank Amazon on KGR? Amazon is not all in title. Is it easy? Can you derank Amazon on KGR? Potentially. Amazon is not all in titles. Okay. Is it easy? Well, it depends on the keyword. All right. So I have no idea. It could be impossible for, one of your keywords, or not impossible. It could be extremely hard for one keyword and easy for another. All right. Sub says, can you please tell details or factors on what kind of site matters for KGR and how? Please reply this, please. All right. All right. I think today may be a shorter day today. We will see how it goes. All right. So Sub says, what details for the type of site in KGR? Okay, Sub, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking. It sounds like a super like unguided question. So I would suggest you go to nichesiteproject.com/FAQ and go read some stuff there because your question doesn't make sense. Sorry. Let's see. TBE says you have trust issues. You're paranoid. A content manager might insert their links or some crap. Ever had a bad one? So I haven't, luckily, but you could check, right? So they inserted the links, but I would check every link to make sure it had my tracking code, just to be sure there wasn't a mistake. So yeah, I've never had a bad one. I was paranoid too, but I mean, like I said, I could check each one of the links and it's not a big deal. Manure, so what's going on? We have Shady Wicks. How many articles should I write without Amazon links for an affiliate site? There's no set rule for that. I mean, technically you could put articles in every single one, or sorry, you could put affiliate links in every single one of your articles. All right. All right. Isaac says media.net is working great. Thanks. And into that note, I did a review for media.net a few weeks ago, as far as monetizing with ads. So I'm an affiliate for them. So I get a commission if you use them through my link. But also you get a bonus. I think you get like a 10% bonus for some small stretch of time. So if you go to my channel and look for media.net, the review, you should see the review. And then you'll be able to find my affiliate link, which I appreciate it if you use. All right. Rio says, is it worth promoting web hosting companies or is it too competitive? Well, it's totally up to you. It's very competitive. So my advice would be that if you're a beginner, if you're a beginner, then it's too competitive for you, and you should probably build up your skills in some other areas that are less competitive. Um, the web hosting arena is very profitable. So the competition that is there often has a large budget, and they, you know, have spent a lot of time getting there, and they will spend a lot of time and money staying where they're ranking well. So yeah, if you have to ask that question, it is too competitive. Quick reminder, I do have a podcast, The Doug Show. So if you go to doug.show, you can subscribe in your directory of choice. There's several of them listed there. And yesterday I recorded one actually that it went live today, but it was actually about asking questions. And it's like asking questions and finding answers. And I go on rants every now and then. It's an interesting format that we have here, right? So I mean, I know people may be watching one of my videos elsewhere. They see a thing that I'm live. Maybe you've never been live or you've never been on a live stream with me before, like a few of the folks today, which is cool. And it's cool because you ask me questions directly. I usually say hello to every person that I see, as long as you're being respectful and not asking as long as you're not being rude, I'll typically respond to your question. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is a couple questions that I've seen. No one here today, but a couple questions that I've seen in the past. It's really it's a bad question. All right, it's something that either it's unanswerable, it's completely unanswerable, or whatever answer that I can give within the context is not helpful. So it occurs to me sometimes as I'm doing these, like, am I wasting my time and your time at like answering just kind of questions people can look up on their own. Again, no one here today. It was other people, not any of the fine people here or anyone that watched previously. All right. So, or in the future, or if this is previously and you are in the future, something like that. Yeah. So Survival Gamer says this, moving on, plowing ahead here. How can you optimize an affiliate site for media.net ads? And then what is the earnings for 10,000 visitors a month for media.net? So I'm not sure of the earnings for that specifically. All right. I would suggest you contact them. I think they have very good customer support. So if you contact them and you kind of give them an idea of what's going on, they could probably give you a range. I don't know if they will, but they will be more able to give you a range, understanding your niche and category in the market that you're operating in. I would just be guessing. As far as optimizing an affiliate site, I can give you general guidelines. And my very basic guideline would be on your pages or posts or whatever on your site, the content that is product review focused, where the keyword is focused on getting a visitor to the site who's interested in making a purchase. That means you should probably not show ads or minimal ads on that page. All right. Because the goal of that page is for someone to read a review and then buy the product or go somewhere and buy something, right? For the ads, I would recommend putting those on your informational post. All right. So the goal of the informational post is to give someone information. And that is where I would put the ads. The idea here is um, you're not cannibalizing your revenue on your affiliate posts. That's the danger. Media.net is very good as far as the ads that they show, and not completely hosing your site. I know a few of the other ad networks, their ads are aggressive and they take forever to load. Okay. Jill says, you installed a new SEO plugin called SEO Presser. Have I heard of it? What do I think? You love it so far. Never heard of it. I don't really mess with SEO plugins too much. I usually just stick with Yoast because I know how it works. As far as the other, I use some of the tools within Yoast, which at this point I'm like, I don't even know if I need those tools. Like my theme does a pretty darn good job. Like with metadata entry and like the meta description, title, other things you need to enter in there. Like it has a lot of that stuff. And then there's some other plugins that I use that allow me to access, say, like the HT access file or something like that without going over to my cPanel or having to log in to FTP or something like that to edit files. So anyway, the point is, no, I haven't used it. I don't have any opinion on it. So, okay. Sub says, hold on. Can I use a product 2 times? Can I keep reviews the same on 2 different posts? I wouldn't recommend that. You'll end up with duplicate content for those sections. So I would recommend writing it uniquely. Okay, so we got like about 31 people. So that's not bad. I think we're slowly growing. I think over the last couple weeks, we ended up seeing maybe around this range, but for a little while we were stuck around 20 or so. So we're building up some momentum, and I think maybe for next week I will send out an email like a day ahead of time to the email list. And I'm just curious by doing that, like where people come from, because I haven't been promoting this too much, and it's kind of just, I mean, it's good for me to have my ear to the ground here, and hear the questions that people are asking, understand what people are struggling with here. Pan, what's going on? Where can I get photos to add in product review articles just before you apply? I guess you're not allowed to use Amazon images before accepting me into the affiliate program. Yes, if you go to nichesiteproject.com/resources, there's a whole section of resources for images. Now, I think you're asking how you can get product images. That I do not know. I don't think you can get product images unless you email and try and get written permission to use those images and stuff. So I would recommend that you here's what I would do. All right, you're starting a new site, you're trying to follow the rules. So I would create the site. I would put, 10 articles out there. I would get images of I don't know, something that fits in like for the topic, from Creative Commons and some of the other free sources that I've listed on nichesiteproject.com/resources. And then I would work on building up traffic until you're getting about 10 to 15 visitors a day. And then I would recommend that you apply to the Amazon affiliate program. And then you're able to use the site stripe to put images, and you have enough traffic that you'll be able to, if you choose to, get the advertising product API. All right. So that is exactly the process that I would follow. But if you're asking if you can get product images, you have to work that out on your own. I have no idea. All right. Linus is on. What's going on? Minur says, "Why are my comments disappearing?" That I'm not sure. Not sure. Hi, what's going on? Survival also says, "Can I tell you if you install eZoic ads? Can you tell me if I install eZoic ads on my affiliate site? Will it affect my rankings because you've heard that you need to change your DNS with blah blah blah?" Um, I don't know. So I would check with eZoic to see if they screw up your site. um, but I suspect they're going to tell you that they don't. You're really asking something different. You're saying if you change your DNS settings, will it impact your rankings? So the DNS settings should not impact your rankings. No. eZoic ads could impact your rankings because if I remember right, they have stuff that loads really slow, really slow. Yeah, so that is a possibility, but the only way to know is to test, and I would say that it's probably not irreversible. I assume that you can test it out, and if things go poorly, then you could take it out and you could probably recover and it'll probably be fine. I usually recommend that people test things, especially since I only have I mean, you're asking me questions that I don't have experience in. So that's why, you know, being fairly vague here. Hi says, "Oh, you checked YouTube and I was on the top of the list as live." Cool. And I've seen that before a few times, like with my friend over there at WP Eagle, Alex Cooper, which I recently published my interview with him on the podcast. So if you want to check that out, DougShow.com, you could hear Alex's story. All right. MD says, "Please advise for the in-depth content. How can you overcome a competitor?" Well, I'm assuming you're talking about in-depth content quality because you want to overtake a competitor. Two things I suggest, which there are videos on it. So the RPM, that's the research paper method, and then FAQ, frequently asked questions. And in both cases, you do research in whatever area you need to, and kind of approach it differently. If you're doing RPM versus FAQ, you could do both of those on one post. So I would advise you to do that and then take it from there. Survival is mentioning that you got to 10,000 subscribers. Let's see, in 6 months, something like that. You went from 2,000 visitors to 10,000 per month. Godfather says you watch the videos on YouTube, but it's the first time on a live show. Welcome. Thanks for hopping on. And it sounds like Survival Gamer is using the KGR to 5x the traffic in 6 months. Very cool. And Ted is on. What's happening? Oh yeah, and Ted is saying that you put eZoic on the site and it didn't affect the rankings, but it slowed the pages down and had minimal effects on CTR. So Kembo says, when is the next Q&A? Well, there's one, there's one right now, of course. But I have been doing them on Thursday, either at 10:30 Mountain Time or 11 Mountain Time. All right. Typically, I've been aiming for this morning period. It's been working out okay. I need to. I've usually just been scheduling it the day of, but I may potentially do a little bit better of a job, like scheduling ahead of time. YouTube's like changing the interface, so like things are a little bit slower. Oh, and Georgie's making an appearance back there. Hey, Georgie, what's going on, girl? What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, you coming over here? She's like, take me for a walk. Come on, dude. She's very pushy, very pushy. I think I could even. I'll try not to make too much noise with the microphone. I think I could actually move the microphone or move the there. There, Georgie, you're on. Oh, put your head a little higher. Here. Oh, there you go. She's like, come on, take me outside. We didn't go on as long of a walk this morning because of the ice and stuff. It'll melt. It'll be better. It'll be better later on today. So let's see what else we got going on here. So Manure says, why can't I find my KGR post on Google? It was submitted and indexed. What can I do now? So I don't know. I'm not sure. I see Pan is saying, is my site down? Not that I noticed, but every now and then I have seen a little bit of a slow, like a delay of it loading and stuff. So yeah, other people could check. I can have a quick look as well. So Munir, I wish I could give you a better answer. I would say keep trucking on. One of the issues with doing, again, the live stream is you're asking this question, but you're not giving me enough information, which Munir, it's not your fault. You don't know what information to tell me. But when you ask that, it's just, I don't fucking know. I don't have any idea. There's like a few reasons. Maybe it's not very good. Maybe you've keyword stuffed. Maybe there's grammar issues. Maybe your site is 3 days old and it's just kind of churning a little bit. I have no idea. So again, that is it's the context of having a Q&A session like this, and not having a producer. It's literally just me and Georgie sitting here looking at some questions. So let's just move on. So I don't know the answer to your question. My suggestion is to keep publishing content, get backlinks, and then probably it's going to work out just fine. What am I doing for mobile optimization? What are the most important plugins? Which caching plugin are you using? So I suggest you go over to nichesiteproject.com/FAQ. There's a list of the plugins there, or there's a question about plugins. As far as mobile optimization, I use a theme that's really good with simplicity, and the mobile stuff seems to be working okay. And yeah, it does look like my site's down. So thanks for that, Pan. Okay, cool. And Hi is mentioning that you are ranking for a generic term in the 10th position. That's pretty cool. And Tech Toys says, I asked you at the Facebook page, but I didn't reply. Yep, I don't like Facebook. I don't like, what happened was, it's really unfortunate because Facebook probably can be a great tool. But what happened was people just find me on Facebook and start asking me questions, right? I don't know who these people are. And I mean, I have a Facebook page and stuff, but it ended up being so much noise on there that I don't reply to any of them unless it's like a family member or something like that. But I must have 700 friend requests, and I don't know who these people are at all. I didn't ask specifically for that, but yeah. So if you ask something on the Facebook page, chances are I'm not going to reply unless I already know you. All right, Jill. See you later. And yeah, thanks for saying hi to Georgie. Here's a good note from Hi says that it beats some major companies, which is strange. So Hi is ranking for a generic term. I suspect that the root was probably in a KGR term. And for the people that were asking, can I outrank Amazon or another big site? The answer is yes, you can. Like, anything's possible. Now, I think the question that you should be asking is, like, do you think I can beat Amazon? That sort of thing. Because, like, the thing is, any site can like rank higher than another site, authority aside, if you look at enough SERPs, you'll see that sometimes you see something that you don't really expect. You see a smaller site outranking a bigger site. So the question is it possible? Well, anything's possible. It's not really a good question. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, like, sure, it can be done. Go look around and you could find it. But it's like I feel like most of the time, not always, but most of the time, people ask, you're like, "Oh, can I beat Amazon without doing any work?" That's the second part of the question that people aren't asking. It's like, "Oh, can I do this without building any links?" Probably not. Probably got to do some work to it. Probably has to be really good content, better than the existing content out there that's beating you. So anyway, John says, starting out, what are my thoughts on Grammarly as a writing and editing tool? All right, John, thank the Lord for some different question that I haven't heard before. Wow. That cheers to that. I think it's amazing. I'm such a whiner. It's like I come on here to answer questions and then I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I don't like those questions." I'm such an asshole. Like I mean, I see it and I think the self-awareness like gets me it makes me feel a little bit better that at least I know that I'm an asshole. But okay, John, thanks for sending this question. Grammarly is really awesome. So, the if you're not familiar with Grammarly, it is a plugin slash app, um, and it will check your grammar. It's a freemium model. I'm an affiliate for it. I don't think I have my affiliate link on here, but I'm an affiliate for it, and I've used it off and on since like 2015, I think, maybe a little bit longer. So Grammarly is really good to catch like the common mistakes, like maybe you totally like missed a word or you misspelled a word, so it'll catch that. In the free version, it'll get the grammar okay. It'll make sure there's not a mistake. Now, the premium version gives you two huge things. Number one, it does like it does more checking. It gives you suggestions to improve the writing. So from an editing standpoint, it's quite helpful. What you will notice is that you can oftentimes, at least for me, remove words. So maybe remove 5% of the words, and it actually just tightens everything up. It makes it more clear and powerful. And when I first started writing, like more seriously, I ended up having a lot of like fluff in there, transitional phrases that could 100% be eliminated and it didn't really need to be there. So that was huge. And that is, I pay for like a annual subscription to the premium. So it includes this extra like coaching, right? Editing power, I guess. And then the second thing is you get plagiarism check. So you're able to get an article from a writer, put it into the plagiarism check, see how many errors, see this if there's any style issues or whatever. But you can get the plagiarism check, and then you know how much has been lifted and where it comes from. So Grammarly is awesome. Highly, highly recommend it. Further, I have, or I guess when I was doing pieces of work where I had VAs helping out on the content side within WordPress, I told them all to put the free version of Grammarly on and to use that to go and revise and just do editing. So, highly recommended. Okay. Kevin says, anything is possible. You say that because one of your which is filled with travel information, is filled with everyday idiots that put out 300-word blog posts and expect them to rank. They don't. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And all right. So, some some other positive words about Grammarly. So here's what I recommend. If you haven't used Grammarly before, check out the free version. It is enough to get you started. And then I think they have a monthly plan, but I think it's like way cheaper to pay annually. So that's what I did. I mean, I can't remember how much, but I feel like it's like 50% less or more. Um, so yeah, really good. And I actually use it to do a lot of, actually, I wrote a guest post. Actually, I can mention a couple things that are coming up. So number one, I have a guest post that I drafted and sent over to the folks at KW Finder. I'm an affiliate for KW Finder. There's a link in the description. I did a short demo and tested out. I haven't, published this yet or anything, but so I tested out KW Finder. Works great. So I did a demo and a guest post, which I sent over to their editorial team. I've been sitting on it for a while. It took a while to write it. Just I was procrastinating like crazy. There was always like some other thing to do. I'm like, oh, better go get my emissions done. I should go leave and blah blah blah. But I used Grammarly to do the editing and to tighten it up. So I drafted the whole thing. This is usually how I write. I'll do an outline, kind of get the skeleton together. Sometimes beforehand, days before I may write whatever it is I'm writing, and then I'll write it. I'll fill it in, maybe in multiple sittings. A lot of times that's how it works out, and then I will leave. Maybe reread it to clean it up a little bit, and then I'll go through with Grammarly, and then tighten it up a little bit more. Right, so that'll give me some suggestions on places I could take out words, or maybe I messed up a comma or something like that. And then I will go back and read the whole thing out loud. And that usually, maybe it uses a different part of my brain, so I process it a little bit differently. And then if it doesn't sound like me, then I can like back it out a little bit and just rephrase it so that it sounds more natural. So yes, Grammarly is very good. Very good. All right. Randy says, I'm a PMP also. Very cool, Randy. You're using the KGR article at number one and bringing in multiple sales per month. Awesome. And other KGR articles are on their way up to the top 15 posts so far. You're making money from 3 to 4 posts. That's fantastic, Randy. Very good job. Congratulations. Actually, keep me posted on your progress as a fellow PMP. It'd be cool to potentially have you as a success story or something like that. Yeah, nice work. Thomas, what's happening? It's been a little while. Is there a plugin or service or app that can warn me if a product on Amazon goes out of stock? Yeah, there are plugins that do that. I don't remember which ones do that. But there are a few out there. I think if you Google it, you could probably find one. I'm an affiliate for a product called ProSociate, which is kind of an older school plugin. But I think they may have a similar functionality as just a piece of it. But I think there are a few products out there that do that. Driven says, use the Honey app when purchasing Grammarly. So to save much more on the annual plan, it's a free Chrome extension, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah. Or driven digital. Sorry. I recommend that people use my affiliate link. So that means I get a commission if you use it. All right. Next, but I'm a paying customer. I like the tool. It's very good. Kevin says, you procrastinate writing. Yeah, I literally was procrastinating for a while. I mean, one of the cool things, I actually mentioned this in the podcast that went live today. But one of the cool things about having the platform, having Niche Site Project, the blog, this YouTube channel, I can email, a keyword research company like KW Finder and just say, hey, I think I want to do a guest post. Here's my idea. They do allow a guest post, but you have to have some, chops. You have to have something to share. Um, but I can email companies or other bloggers or whoever, and they'll read my email, which is cool. All right. MD says, which theme do I suggest for Amazon sites? So go to, actually, I don't have a specific one that I recommend all the time, but what I can do is send you a link. It looks like my site's back up. I have no idea why it went down for that short period. There's this cool FAQ section, which I can send you a link to. By the way, if people haven't been Furhan is the man over there sending the link for me. Thank you. Thank you. So, and thanks to Furhan as a moderator. You see his name's in blue there. So that's what that means. That's a helper right there. All right. What theme? Theme doesn't matter so much. Make sure it loads fast. By the way, everyone go check out Niche Site Project. Take a look at the homepage. Take a look at some of the other pages. I've sort of scaled it down a little bit as far as like the noise. What happened is I took Thrive Architect off of there because it wouldn't let me update anymore. And man, it's just a I don't like that plugin. It's so hard to use, and the customer support is a little bit rough in that they don't really give customer support. So moving on to how many inbound links, outbound links, affiliate links, and total links is good for a 3,000 word article. Okay, so you ask a lot of questions. I'll give you. I'll be able to answer most of this, but some of it's hard. How many inbound links? Basically, as many as you could possibly get. All right, more links is better. All right, how many outbound links? I would say I'll give you like ranges instead of, I'm going to make the math easier. So basically for 1,000 words, this is just ballpark, right? These are ranges. I maybe would answer something different in the future, or maybe I've said something different in the past. So right now, as I'm talking, I'm going to say, I'd put like for outbound links, maybe like 2 or 3 per 1,000 words. How many affiliate links? I'd maybe put like, maybe on average, like 10 affiliate links for every, say, 1,500 words, something like that. Total links, I don't know what that, like in what context, total links, inbound, outbound. All right. Because we already asked the inbound one. So you got inbound links and outbound links. What else is there? Those two together. So you can just add the two. And then, yeah, I think that'll get you started. All right. Survival Gamer says, can we use the KGR to bring in sales for e-commerce or drop shipping? Sure. You could use, it's like, it's funny having the camera pointed down lower so you can see Georgie pop in every now and then. Where you at, girl? What are you doing? What's happening? Oh, yeah. Do you want to go for a walk soon? Oh, yeah. She does. She does. The main blah blah blah. So you could use the KGR for any site where you're like paying attention to keyword research and content, where you're going to rank in SEO. As far as the main strategy, I'm not really sure. I would suggest find a bunch of KGR keywords, publish content on them, and write good copy to convert those sales. But I feel like that's not really a helpful answer there. Sandy Storm says, nice cap. Thank you. Greta, what's happening? You earn negative $14 this month. Yeah, okay, that happens. Yeah, it's the investment period. You have 40 plus articles in 1.5-year-old website. You have 50 visitors a day. Yeah, I would try and turn that negative into a positive. I don't know what's going on. That's definitely unusual. Um, oh, Steven says you made a live stream. Do I recommend buying a link directly from a website? It seems like it may be against the terms of service, but it may be something that everybody does. Okay. Do I recommend buying a link? I would say no. I wouldn't recommend that to you. It seems like it might be against the terms of service. It 100% would be against the terms of service. That really, it's like the webmaster guidelines. Yeah. But it seems like something everyone does. Well, some people do, some people don't. All right. Um, and oh, Furhan says you're a bit slow with the links. No, no, it's all you're faster than I am. Faster than I am. And thanks for the help, of course. And Sub says, thanks. Keep doing the live streams. You like the support and you like my hat and the dog. Nice. Oh, Greta says it'd be great if we had a Facebook group or something to talk about this stuff. People do that in other branches because people charge every little advice I've noticed. Well, couple things on that, Greta. Actually, there is a Facebook group, but like I was saying earlier, Facebook ended up being. Here's what happens. Actually, there's Facebook groups that you could join up, but the thing is, I don't like Facebook and I don't like spending time there. I don't like the format. Um, so what happens is, and this boggles my mind. So the main thing that happens in the Facebook groups, um, unless someone's active, making an effort to moderate, you just end up with spam messages, right? So I would like let people into the group, right? As an admin, I would let people in, and then they would put these like spam messages, and I can't imagine anyone is making money from that. But I don't know. I have no clue. But I don't know anyone that would click the link that it's like, make $1,000 a day from home without doing any work or something like that. But I don't know, but people post those in the Facebook group. So anyway, there's other groups out there. I think Human Proof Designs has a Facebook group that allows anyone in there. I have a Facebook group for my course, but you got to pay to get in there. Um, and because everyone has joined the course, everyone has paid good money. Um, there's no spam, there's no garbage. Moderation is very light. In fact, I don't even really need to do anything because everyone there um, is respectful. But anyway, the Facebook group basically wouldn't be fun for me. It would cost me money and it wouldn't really get me anywhere. Could I pay a social media manager to manage the Facebook group? Sure. But I don't really want to do that. So we can choose what we want to work on, and I'm choosing not to work on that. And I mean, some people do charge for every little advice. Um, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. All right, Sane says you made it to another live stream. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to close it out here shortly, folks, so you can get your last questions in. John says you do FBA occasionally. There are 2 paid tools, and Jungle Scout has an ASIN that tells you how much is in stock. Cool. And I knew there were some, I think there are some other tools that are less sophisticated that only tell you like what's in stock. Cause I know some people, like if you're not doing FBA, then you maybe don't need all the other information from Jungle Scout. Pan says, how Google knows if you bought a backlink or if you ask for the link. They wouldn't really know. They don't know. Raul says, should we make Web 2.0 links? I don't suggest that per se, but if you want to build Web 2.0 links, you can do whatever you like. I don't think they're going to be helpful. Steven says you have 40 articles in the hopper. They're KGR. Mostly you just published last week and you'll let me know. All right, cool. Steven says, no link building so far. Can I talk about the press release service from Human Proof? No, I've never used it. I know the Human Proof design folks, Dom Wells and the crew, are good people and they have good services, but I don't do press releases and I've never used that service, so I can't comment on it. Ubad says publishing content is important on post or page. You could do either one. It's not really going to impact anything. And which one is good? Well, they do two different things. So I suggest you Google what's the difference between a page and a post, and then you can get the official WordPress answer. I would suggest that you have your general content on posts, and then other things like your about page, contact page, home page, things where you put page at the end for pages. Those are typically going to be like the more permanent ones. If you were doing some kind of silo structure, right, you can use pages to get the URL structure that you're looking for. And Furhan says pages and posts are part of the WordPress terminology. Yes, that is correct. Sayin says, do I recommend linking two of your sites together? If they're related, I think it could be helpful. But generally, I would say I wouldn't do that. Survival says you want to say big thank you to Doug for the KGR. You published 35 posts, which increased traffic from 2,000 to 10,000 in 6 months. Hey, Survival, why don't you send me an email? I'd like to hear your story. Maybe we could share it in some capacity. Yeah, you just shoot an email, doug@nichesiteproject.com. And Steven says, usually don't make the live streams, but you always listen later. Cool. Thanks, Steven, for letting me know. They are, yeah. I think one thing I can do to make these better is to just have more questions preloaded and maybe add a producer to sift through the questions in the audience and then figure out what they say. Is obviously hard for me to read, watch the chat, and then figure out what the question is. Sometimes it's very obvious for other people because you have a different context. You could hear what I'm saying, but as I'm trying to read the bad, I'll just say bad grammar of the question. Sometimes there's missing words, there's misspelled stuff. For a lot of folks, English is not your first language in the chat, so it's not your fault that it's not 100% right. But having a producer to just read through and just like send me like a chat message where it's like, here's the question, and like maybe combine a couple questions. Like I don't have I'm unable to watch the chat since I'm talking for most of the time. So anyway, that's it for today. Everybody have a good weekend. Please check out the Doug Show. If you're looking for hosting, I like SiteGround. There's a link in the description. If you are looking for, what else do I got going on? If you're looking for common questions, if you just want to veg out for a little while, you can go read the FAQ section. Lots of good information in there. It's all sort of interlinked together. I mentioned silos before. You could actually kind of look at how some of those are structured and see a bit of a silo on there. And Furhan mentions a lot of the questions can be Googled fairly quickly if you want in-depth answers. So that's true. Actually, a lot of the questions, if you literally type them into Google, there's a strong chance some result from me is going to pop up because they're very specific questions and no one would really target. They're not even KGR terms. They're just questions that I answered after being asked many times. So yeah, there's much more in-depth, like Furhan said. Okay, and now we're signing out now. So I should be scheduling these on Thursdays, so just keep an eye out and be sure you click the bell to get notifications. If you click the bell, you'll know ahead of time that these are going to happen. So, all right, see you later.